Hello and welcome to today's webinar on near-miss reporting. My name is David Pavley and I am Health and Safety General Manager here at Ellis Whittam. For those unfamiliar with Ellis Whittam, we provide high quality, fixed fee employment law and health and safety advice. We employ qualified solicitors and health and safety advisors who develop one-to-one relationships with our clients as we provide you with a named advisor to help you with your HR and health and safety journey. We don't just advise, we provide hands-on support and have a range of additional services that employers can take advantage of. We currently support 17,500 UK employers ranging from startups to national brands, and currently we have excellent client satisfaction rates, which is something that we're extremely proud of. And so on to today's session. To listen to today's webinar, please use your computer speaker. You'll receive a summary of today's webinar in an email after the event. So don't worry if you miss anything as we go along. And finally, if you have any trouble accessing the webinar today, please let me know in the questions box and I will come back to you after the event. Okay, so today's webinar is on near-miss reporting, and over the next half hour or so I'm going to be talking about, firstly, the definition of a near-miss and how it's different from an accident. Then the importance of investigating near-miss incidents. Next, I will discuss how to implement an effective near-miss reporting system. And finally, I will discuss the potential pitfalls that you need to avoid and consider. So let's go straight into the presentation. So what then is a near miss? A near miss, like an accident or incident, is an unplanned and unexpected event. The main distinction is that, in the case of a near miss, no harm or loss actually resulted. It is important to remember that, though it still suggests that there has been a failure in a control system that has led to something going wrong, the occurrence of a near miss should still draw attention to the fact that there is a potential for a negative outcome or accident in the future if the same thing were to happen again. The importance of reporting accidents is well publicised and well known. Most organisations have accident reporting forms and procedures for reporting and investigating accidents in place. In fact, it's normally a key part of an induction training process for new employees. The same cannot always be said for near-miss incidents. Very often, near-miss incidents go unreported and therefore unnoticed. As a result, the organisation is deprived of the opportunity to focus on the failure of control systems that led to the near-miss occurring in the first place. To help you understand the concept of accident frequency rates, there are several models that set out to analyse the relationship between the number of incidents and the number of major accidents. The model shown is called the Byrd Triangle or safety pyramid. This is widely recognised in industry as the blueprint for illustrating the relationship between the occurrence of near misses and more serious events such as major injuries or even fatalities. This model shows that it is possible for a business to monitor accident, incident and near-miss frequency rates to determine the likelihood of a major incident taking place based on the frequency of other less serious incidents. However, this type of analysis is only possible if robust reporting and investigation procedures are in place originally. But first of all, let's look at why it is important to manage people's health and safety. The three main reasons normally given for managing safety are from a moral, legal and financial perspective. From a moral point of view, there are ethical reasons for managing health and safety, such as duty of reasonable care. This is a duty on an individual or organisation to take reasonable care of their actions and the potential side effects or consequences. Basically, one should not harm or put others in danger with one's own actions, especially in the workplace. From a legal perspective, the Health and Safety at Work Act clearly sets out the duty of employers to manage safety in the workplace. Having systems and procedures in place for the reporting of incidents that, although did not result in harm, but had the potential for causing a loss, is an integral part of this legal requirement. There is also a specific duty to manage foreseeable risk. By implication, once a near-miss incident has occurred, the risk then becomes foreseeable, and as such it must be managed. Then finally, there is the financial case to consider. The costs of accidents are very well publicised. These costs include the expenditure associated with remedial action, injuries, civil claims and loss of production. It can also include substantial legal costs and fines should there be a prosecution. A robust near-miss reporting system can help in the long term to avoid accidents and therefore the associated costs. When considering a near-miss reporting system, the importance of commitment from the management team cannot be overemphasized. Managers need to commit to be project champions in their own area of responsibility, as well as actively participating in accident and reporting incidents. They would also have to commit to making resources available for any remedial action required. This commitment needs to be visible to employees in order to foster trust and confidence in the organisation. It is a good idea to establish a forum to discuss, investigate and assign remedial actions. This forum should be fully representative of the organisation in order to be effective. The formation of such a forum within a manufacturing facility may include the operations manager, the maintenance and engineering managers, shift supervisors, employee representatives and the health and safety manager. Obviously, the formation of the forum will be dependent on the type of organisation, but the important factor is that it should contain members who have the authority to authorise actions, as well as members that have the relevant experience, knowledge, ability, and most of all, attitude. The forum should meet on a regular basis in order to discuss any near-miss reports that have been submitted. The frequency and duration of these meetings will depend on the number of near-miss reports received. In the early days of introducing a system, there may be a large number of reports, and so the meeting may need to be on a weekly basis. As the system beds in and less reports are submitted, this may well reduce to being on a monthly basis. One of the first tasks of the forum would be to design a suitable near-miss report form. A recommendation would be to use a distinctive and bright colour for the form in order to make it stand out clearly. Again, the design would depend on the type of organisation, but would typically need to include asking the following questions. First of all, the name of the person reporting the accident, although it could well be that you choose to have an anonymous option for reporting as well. Next, the date of the incident, the exact location of where it happened, details of what happened, the immediate action taken to make things safe afterwards, details of why the person reporting thinks this incident may have happened, how the person reporting thinks a similar incident could be prevented in the future, any remedial action decided by the forum, and the name of the person given responsibility for deciding on the solution. Points 5, 6 and 7 invite the reporter to ensure that immediate action is taken to make the situation safe, as well as to think about why the incident occurred and what, in their opinion, should be done to rectify it. In asking these questions, the person reporting becomes actively involved in the process rather than just being a bystander. In other words, an employee is encouraged to spot a potential risk, deal with the situation there and then report what has been done to rectify it. Feedback is one of the key cornerstones of successful near-miss reporting. Of course, if the report is submitted anonymously, feedback would not be possible. However, where a reporter has been identified, feedback is crucial for the long-term survival of the system. The person reporting should have the information fed back so they know that the issue has been raised and dealt with. Lack of feedback about progress can lead to employees becoming demoralized with a near-miss reporting system. And very soon, this can reduce the motivation about using the system at all. One idea to enhance feedback is to provide a near-miss feedback summary during team meetings or provide feedback on an employee accessible notice board. That way, employees who submitted a report anonymously would also get feedback as well. Once the system is ready to be implemented, consider having a launch event. This could take the form, for example, of a specific team meeting for all employees. This meeting should provide an explanation to all employees on the reason for near-miss reporting, the definition of a near-miss, and public confirmation of management commitment. Some organisations have in the past attached a recognition or reward system to near-miss reporting in order to get initial buy-in. If the management team is not fully committed, this will very quickly be seen by employees, and consequently the system will ultimately die out. It is also important that this commitment needs to be visible. It is important to remember that one of the big advantages to be gained from implementing a focused near-miss reporting system is to get everybody in the organisation more actively involved in health and safety on a day-to-day basis, and that includes the management team. It is also important to ensure that the near-miss reporting forms are distinctive and readily available in all departments, canteens and rest areas. A postbox could also be provided for posting completed reports. Also, if forum meetings are not regular enough, there may be a large number of reports to deal with at each meeting. This then becomes an onerous task. It is better to have regular, shorter meetings of 30 to 45 minutes than long, onerous meetings. It is also important to avoid cancelling meetings, as this sends a message of lack of commitment. Again, not completing actions within the allocated time or not completing them at all sends a message of lack of commitment as well. In the absence of feedback, employees will tend to believe there is no real commitment from management and therefore will lose interest themselves. In summary, having an effective near-miss reporting system has many safety culture benefits, as well as satisfying legal obligations. It presents the organisation with the opportunity to focus on an event that could have resulted in an accident without having to deal with the trauma of injury and the other very negative aspects so often part of an accident. A near-miss presents a real opportunity of learning from an incident and brings safety to the forefront and raising awareness throughout an organisation. However, it is only possible if you have a robust near-miss reporting system in place. So that brings us to the end of our webinar today. Thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions, then please pop them in the questions section and we will come back to you with the answer. At Ellis Whittam, our employment law advisors and health and safety consultants are on hand to help you understand your legal obligations and make any process easier and smoother. And so if you have any questions about today or our services generally, then do get in touch. Our contact details are right there for you and will be in our follow-up email after this webinar. Also, if you're new to Ellis Whittam, one of my colleagues will be in touch with you after the event. Thank you very much.